Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming an autumn look that I've been wearing quite a lot to wherever I go, and so yeah, I'm also going to have a tiny update in this, so just keep an ear out on that. Also, if I sound very congested, that's because I am. I've got the cold that's going around at the moment, so please bear with me in this video. And yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into it. So, first thing I'm going to do is prime my skin. Whenever you do any sort of look, you want to prep and prime your skin. And the primer I'm going to be using is the PS Prep and Perfect Vitamin Enriched Moisturizing Primer. It looks just like this. And then I'm just going to pop this on my skin. Just allow a base, because even though I don't wear foundation at the moment because my skin is really dry, I like to add a little bit of coverage, so that I'm using a tint. I've actually found a tinted moisturizer I really like, so yeah. So the next thing I'm going to do is my eyebrows. Whilst that sinks in, it's good to let your primer sink in so that when it comes to everything sticking to it, it works a little bit better. I'm going to use the Profusion Cosmetics Brow Gel. It looks like this. It comes in a set with the pencil and the pomade, which I'm going to be using. However, this is this. I will be putting prices on the screen somewhere. I haven't figured out exactly where yet, but you will see. And it's just a white gel. I'm just going to use this to stick my eyebrows down and just put them into the place I want them to be. It's not extremely sticky and tacky, which I love. It is just perfect for just laying down the eyebrows so that you can see any gaps in that, so you can fill it with the other stuff. Please bear with my eyebrows, they are a work in progress. I'm in the middle of growing bits out. As you can see, some bits are sparse, some bits are thicker than others. It's just everything's a work in progress. We like to keep it real. Next, I'm just going to go ahead and outline my eyebrows using the pencil that come in the set. I'm pretty sure this is, I don't know whether I've already told you, but I'm pretty sure this is all in the shade dark brown. Obviously, you can't really tell by my roots, my hair needs dyeing, but my hair is actually black and pink, so I like to keep my eyebrows dark. And so I'm going to just use this to outline / fill in any stubborn gaps, which I know are a little bit more attention to detail. Just like so, and then I'm just gonna use the brush just to blend it out a tiny bit. If you see anything in the background, it will probably be my cat Minnie. She currently lives in my room at the moment. But yeah, she might pop in every now and again into the camera. Next, I'm going to be using the brow pomade. This is probably my favourite product of theirs at the moment. But yeah, other than the eyeshadow palette, I do really like Profusion eyeshadow palette. And I'm just going to use this to fill in any gaps. And then, obviously, because now we're into autumn, everything is going to be extremely wet and rainy. So I like to use stuff that's waterproof. However, the only thing I actually have at the moment that's properly waterproof is my brow gel. This is the got2b Brow and Edges Gel. This is the waterproof one. As you can see, it's loved, it's all rubbed off. But yeah, I mostly use this when it's raining, which is pretty much every day in the UK at the moment. And I just like to put a layer of this over the top just to set it all into place and make sure they do not budge. So now I'm going to be using the Revolution Conceal and Define in the shade C5 to apply a tiny bit of a base for my eyeshadow. And I'm just going to take this brush here. Can't remember where I got it from actually. I think it might actually be a Poundland brush. And I'm just going to take a little bit off the actual brush itself and just pop it onto my eyelid. And then I'm just going to go ahead and set that with the same brush with my Maybelline Fit Me translucent powder. And we can start the eyeshadow. Even though I love fall and autumn and everything like that, I like to keep my eyeshadow as simple as possible because one, I haven't got time to be spending half an hour on my makeup. Two, I just love simple, effective eyeshadow looks. So I'm going to be using the Heart Revolution Nudes Chocolate Bar palette. It looks just like this, has lots of warm tones. Ignore the dirty mirror, but it has lots of warm tones which I really like. And the first shade I'm going to use is the shade Bodacious, which is this one here. And I'm just going to use that as a transition shade, and I'm going to pop that in my crease. I'm going to go in with a clean, like not clean, eyeshadow brush, and I'm just going to blend that a little bit. It's a big fluffy brush. Most of the brushes you see me using, unless I specify otherwise, are from Amazon. So yeah. Now that that's blended out, I'm going to go in with the shade Undressed, which is a slightly darker, it doesn't look darker on camera, but in person it is darker and more chocolatey. And I'm going to use this as my main shade. So I'm going to pack and blend. So packing is where you just press it on. And then obviously blending is when you apply very little pressure. Some people like to go in circular motions. I like to just see what happens. And then I'm just going to keep, because I find that in the middle here I tend to go a tiny bit patchy because I have dry patches on my eyes. I like to just go back over that with a little bit more product before I take my big fluffy brush and the last shade and just blend that out. This might take a couple rounds of blending and shaping. You might have to add more product, you might have to blend loads. I tend to just see what happens. So yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the shade right here called Flustered, which isn't as bright as it looks there. It's more of like a creamy colour. And I'm just going to use that to blend my the edges to make sure nothing's sharp and that everything just goes smooth. I'm going to use it on the outline pretty much. Just blend it all. Right, the next step you don't have to do. You can just leave it like this and then go in with your shimmer shade and eyeliner and all that. However, I like to add a tiny bit of depth in my outer corner. So I'm going to go in with the shade called In the Sheets, this one right here. And I'm going to just use a tiny bit of that to add a bit of depth. And I mainly focus that right there. And I do go slightly more in my crease with this. and then I'll blend it in with everything else. As you can see, it's just added a tiny bit more depth to the look without changing the look. And then I'm just going to go in with my main shade, and I'm just going to blend that out. I don't want that colour to take over. I just want it to be kind of like a shadow almost, and just create a little bit more depth. Obviously, don't worry too much about how messy it is around here. I haven't put my base on yet. However, in this bit here, do try and keep it a tiny bit neater. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm just using that same flustered colour to just blend everything here. If you have to, go in with your finger and just do that. Right here isn't too bad, especially if you nose contour, just because it creates a little bit more of a, and then you're also going to add your highlighter or whatever shade you want over the top of it for the inner corner. But that is pretty much the basics of the look. That is my crease, and I like to just use the camera a little bit to blend everything together. And then for my lid colour, I like to use a little bit of a mixture of a cream eyeshadow. This is the e.l.f. Liquid Metallic eyeshadow in the shade, I can't remember what the shade is. I gotta find it now. Man, the writing's on that too big. It's small. I can't remember what it's called. I'll have to let you know about what the shade is of this. And I'm just going to take this. I've got the wrong brush here for my lid. And I'm just going to put a tiny bit on my lid. If I do that, that'll show you exactly where you need it to be. And then I'm just going to pat this all over my lid, and then this will be the base for my eyeshadow, because although this is on the right lines, it isn't actually quite the right colour. It's a little bit too champagne-y for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the shade Pillow Talk, and I'm just going to pop a tiny, like a light layer of that over the top, just to add a bit of a different colour to it. Just like that. And then I'm going to go in with my crease brush and just blend all of that together. Just like that. And that is the majority of the look. However, if, say, this is a little bit too much of a yellow gold, sometimes it is for me, it all depends on my mood, but this is the main look I go for. You can go in with the shade Stripped Down, which is more of like an orangey gold, and just, I'm actually going to do it right now, and just pop it over the top, and as you can see, it's just changed the tone of the eyeshadow. I'm going to go ahead and just complete the other eye off camera, and then I will be back. So, as you can see, I have both eyes done now. We can now focus on getting the base makeup done. I'm going to be using the W7 Just Tinted Moisturiser in the shade Nude for my base. And I'm, again, just going to pop it on my brush. And then I'm going to apply this with stippling motions. So I'm just going to apply it to all the parts of my face. And then I'm just going to stipple it into my skin. Just to try and get as much of the coverage as possible. I'm now just going to pop some of my Revolution and Conceal and Define concealer into the bottom of my powder where the mirror is, and I'm just going to pick this up with my brush. This is just to stop it from contaminating my thingy, and I'm just going to pop this wherever I need a little bit more coverage. However, I don't use this one under my eyes because I find that it's a little too heavy for under my eyes. Everyone's eyes are different. I know a lot of people like to use this one under their eyes. I, however, am not that person. And then under my eyes, I'm going to be using my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade number 3. Number 3, I don't know what number 3 is. And I'm just going to pop that under my eyes to brighten them up. I'm just going to use the same brush again to blend that out. And now we need to powder everything down. So we're going to actually use what I'm using as my mirror for its rightful purpose. I'm going to first blend out the under eyes with my finger. And then I'll pop my powder on. I've been using my big powder brush recently just because I cannot be bothered to use multiple brushes. And then I'm just going to put a light dust of powder everywhere else. This one's self-explanatory. Next, we're going to bronze the face. I love this bronzer. It is the Physicians Formula Matte Butter Bronzer. I don't worry too much right now if I've added too much on, because as you can see in a minute, I'm a little bit of a blushaholic. So I first go in with the Revolution Blusher Reloaded in the shade Pink Lady. Brightest pink I could find that was affordable. However, it is matte, in which I would love this even more if it was shiny, and I just like to add it on my cheeks and over my nose, a little bit up there and a little bit on my chin. Okay, why not? I just add it everywhere, and this is my base colour, so again, doesn't have to be perfect. However, I will go in with the Real Revolution Trio in the shade Sugar. That is my go-to contour shade if ever I was to contour. However, I don't do much contouring at the moment, simply because I cannot be bothered. However, I do really, really like the blusher in this, so I use this as a topper because it is shiny, and then I just apply that over the top, and then the excess there. And then my all-time favourite highlighters are the Soph ones. However, I don't think you can get them anymore, so I don't want to advertise them just in case you can't. But I do like to use the duo and the actual highlighter palette. So if anyone does still want a video on like Soph palettes and stuff like that, please let me know, because I know a lot of people got them, but I don't know whether people who haven't got them can still get them, and I don't want to get people's hopes up just in case. So I'm just going to use the highlighter out of this, which is still a very good highlighter, as you can see in a minute. A little bit too much there. Oh well. But yeah, I also do really, really like this highlighter, and I will pop this absolutely everywhere. And then go over it a little bit. We're going back in with the eyeshadow palette, and I'm just going to put some eyeshadow on the bottom. So I'm just going to use Undressed and In the Sheets to create a little bit of an under eye situation so that we're not all naked under there. because I am not one of those people who do not like Next, I'm going to tightline with the Catrice Cosmetics Long Lasting Eye Pencil. Claims to be waterproof. I do not believe it is completely waterproof. However, it is very black, which I like. So, yeah. Again, because this is my everyday makeup routine, I do not care if it lasts all day. It's gonna come off at some point. However, if it was a special occasion, I would go over the top with some matte black eyeshadow. One that I do like, again, is from the Soph palette. It's the Nightmare one from the original Soph palette, but I also like the black out of the Extra Spice palette. I don't know what it's called though. Or just any black eyeshadow works. So I'm just going to tightline and waterline. Just like so. And then everyone's favourite part of eyeshadow and eye looks, I'm going to add a wing. So the eyeliner I've been using recently is the MUA Eye Define black eyeliner. It's a felt tip one. And yeah, I will not speak during this because I suck at eyeliner, so I may end up cutting the camera at some point. But enjoy a time lapse of me doing an eyeliner. And then before I put my mascara on, because I don't like the way that my lashes stick together, I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Paris 3 Second Setting Mist. And remembering to hold my breath this time. Last, but definitely not least, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Lash Sensational, which I'm nearly out of, unfortunately. And my Minnie Mouse lash curlers from Primark. Curl my lashes. Just like so. So, this is the end of the video. This is the final look. As you can see, it's very natural, very effective, very fall, but still into that summer vibe. However, like the video if you did. Obviously I'm autistic, so I ramble on, and unfortunately that's just going to be a part of my videos. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch me, but if you do like it, subscribe so you can see more, and comment down below any YouTube videos you would like to see next year. I have a schedule for the rest of this year, which is mostly fall, Christmas, autumn and vacation themed. Obviously I'm going on a holiday inland in October, so it's not going to be the best time to vlog or anything like that. However, I will see what I can do. If I can vlog, I will be getting a vlog up. If not, I will think of something else. Stay safe, enjoy life, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!